Since the beginning of the week, we're seeing positivity in the market, and we didn't see any profit takers back on the market. Are you expecting that trend to continue for next week?
I expect the uptrend to continue next week. We think this recent surge of buyers have been triggered off by the progress made with respect to the asset management company, which is supposed to soak up the assets of distressed banks in the system. And as you're aware, most of those assets are in form of shares as well as real estate. We believe this is the trigger, but we don't expect it to be sustained. We expect profit takers to still come in at some point in the near term to take back some of those gains. But overall, we expect the market to still be up. Finally.
Well, talking about the banking sector and the AMC, the central bank governor is rather positive about AMC, saying that they will get their revenue back by the second quarter. Would you agree with him there?
I do agree with him there. I think a lot of the logistic questions will probably be resolved after the AMC has been approved. But once the AMC has passed the Senate, right now it's been passed by the lower house, the lower parliament. Once it's passed by the higher house, we believe that there's going to be a surge of confidence in that sector. So its timeline, the governor says by Q2 you expect the AMC to be wrapped up. I don't think the operational setup and logistics would have been wrapped up by then. But we believe that the legal work and it's going to be established as an entity by Q2, which we expect by default is going to lead to a surge in confidence in the financial sector and those affected banks.
Well, regarding the AMC, what's the sense that you're getting from investors out there, market players within Nigeria? What's the sense you're getting regarding AMC?
Regarding the AMC, a lot of people have actually hinged their expectation of the capital markets on this AMC being approved. A big portion of the assets to be soaked up by the AMC is shares. So once you have the AMC come in and buy up those toxic assets, you automatically limit a massive supply of shares into the market, which naturally will drive up prices. So for a lot of people, we said this last quarter on this same program, that we expect that at the point where the AMC seems a finality, there should be a surge in the prices of stocks. That we think is what has happened this week. That we think may carry on to next week. We then think the profit takers will come in, take it down, but overall we expect it to be higher up. So generally, investors see this as a big positive for stocks in general, and even some see it as a positive for real estate, which has seen depressed prices due to, of course, the bank failures we had last year. Fairly.
Let's take a look at some of the results of WAPCO, flour mills. Were they in line with what market was expecting?
WAPCO was a big disappointment, and the stock has suffered as a result. What we had in WAPCO was a hefty 30% decline in profit to 9 billion. Top line grew by 5%. Most analysts had expected a top line decline of, say, about circa 15%. What we saw was twice that, and as a result, the stocks are suffered. Pending when we speak to management directly and get a clear idea of what's responsible for this, we think a weak distribution system, and we point the finger clearly to their logistics, which of course implicates management in a sense. So we think while WAPCO may have showed rather weak results relative to what the market expects, pending when we get a final clarification of what exactly is responsible for the sharp decline in PBT. We think it's possibly operational issues with them. Fairly.
Well, apart from their logistic concerns that you have, where do you think that the company should cut on costs?
I cannot say over that. I mean, you want to increase a company's bottom line, you either improve revenues or you cut costs. When you cut costs without enhancing your revenue potential, you're just going to kill the business invariably. I mean, you're just cutting, except you're packaging it to sell off. So I cannot tell you generally and say, okay, cut costs. No, until when we get an in-depth understanding of the results of the company, I cannot say that. But naturally, every company should cut costs. Every company should run a lean operations. Fairly.
All right, for next week, which stocks are you keeping an eye on?
Flour mills is up already, but I like the stock. I think we could still have easily a 20% gain on it if you go in right now. I don't see flour mills disappointing investors when they bring out their final year results. We think it will likely be in line with expectation. And we think even though the market has already priced in the stock, I think it's trading at over 65 Naira now, so the market has already priced in a lot of the expectation of the result. We think there is still an upside to it. And we think the upside would be a minimum upside of about 20%. So that's a stock I'll be willing to put my money into.